Let's take a look at two trade discount examples. An item is subject to successive discounts of 33 1/3%, 10%, and 2%. If the net price is $564.48, what was the original list price? Also, calculate the total amount of discount applied. Let's start by writing out some important formulas. Because we have more than one discount, we'll be using the following formula, where N represents the net price, L represents the list price, and lowercase d represents a discount. And since we're dealing with successive discounts, we'll have 1 minus d sub 1, that's our first discount, 1 minus d sub 2 for our second discount, and 1 minus d sub 3 for our third discount. So the net price here is $564.48. And what we're looking for is the original list price. So we're looking for capital L, 1 minus, and we need to make each of these percentages into a non-percentage fraction or decimal. Now 33 1/3 is a repeating decimal value if you change it into decimal form. As a fraction, it's 1/3. 10% can be written as 0.1 and 2% can be written as 0.02. So let's go ahead and substitute those values into the lowercase d values. 1/3, 1 minus 0.1, 1 minus 0.02. So what we have to do here is solve for L, and the very first thing that you can do is find out what this is equal to. Now, if you want to save time and not have to convert those into fractions or decimals, you can actually use your calculator to compute this very easily. Watch this. So open up parenthesis, 1 minus, and you see how we had 33 1/3%, and I said it was 1/3. But in case you didn't know that it's 1/3, you can use this function on your calculator. So click Shift, that button, put in 33 1/3. And if you see a percentage function on your calculator, use it. So Shift and percentage sign, then close. That's the same thing as writing 1/3. 1 minus 0.1, and again 1 minus 0.02. And so all of this is equal to 0.588. So on our next line, we have L times 0.588 and 564.48. If we want to solve for L, we divide both sides by 0.588. So L is equal to 564.48 over 0.588. So 564.48 divided by the answer that we just found, and that means the list price or the catalog price was $960 before all those trade discounts. Now we also need to calculate the total amount of discount applied. Now this part is very easy to do. To find the discount, or uppercase D, you take your list price and subtract from it your net price. So your list price was $960, and we subtract from this 564.48, and this is how we will know what the discount is. So there was a discount of $395.52. And don't forget to conclude with a therefore statement for both of these findings. In question number 2, we are asked a set of wireless headphones is listed at $125 with discounts of 10% and 24%. A competing store sells the same headphones for $55.99. So this is the net price of the competitor. And for us, we don't have a net price yet, right? Our list price is $125 and those discounts haven't been applied. The question is asking what additional rate of discount must be offered to match the competitor's price. In other words, we want our net price to be $55.99. Now, without an additional discount, let's find out what our net price would be. So without an additional discount, we would have a situation like this, where we have 1 minus 0.1, that's the 10% changed into a decimal, and 24% changed into a decimal is 1 minus 0.24. So let's find out what our net price would be. 125 times 1 take away 0.1 times 1 take away 0.24. And we end up getting a net price of $85.55. So that's obviously not $55.99. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our net price to $55.99, and we want to add an additional discount that will lead us to that value. So we're going to add another factor here, 1 minus D sub 3. That's our third discount, and we want to find out what that will be so that our net price is $55.99. What we will do is compute this part and then divide both sides by what we find. Let me show you what I mean. So 125, actually we already found this earlier. It was 85.5. So let me write that down. 85.5 times 1 take away D sub 3, 55.99. We're going to divide both sides by that factor. So watch this, 85.5 on both sides. That cancels out. And so we take 55.99 divided by 85.5. We end up with this value, but rather than writing it down, let's just keep it in its fraction form and solve for D sub 3. So once we've divided both sides by 85.5, we get the following equation. And if we rearrange, we end up getting D sub 3 is equal to 1 take away the fraction 55.99 over 85.5. So 1 take away what we just found, and we end up getting 0.3451. Then we multiply this by 100%, or a factor of 100, and we end up getting 34.5%. So roughly 34.5% of a discount must be applied additionally for us to meet the competitor at $55.99. If you have any further questions about this, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching.